on supertalk.fm/watch. It is the one and only, the incomparable host of Mississippi Coast Vue, Ricky Mathews. Morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great from right here in the coastal Mississippi studios.
Are you ready for this next one? And are you keeping up with what's going on here?
Oh, man, as you can imagine, I am. You know, there's a new rule in 2021, Paul. We will not discuss 2020. What a year this has been.
That is it, and it ain't over yet. Delta is expected to continue strengthening. This could be the strongest hurricane strike on Cancun in 15 years since Wilma stalled over the northeast Yucatan Peninsula after becoming the strongest Atlantic basis tropical cyclone on record by pressure. After that, forecast guidance suggests the Delta will eventually turn northward toward the U.S. Gulf Coast late in the week. From what you see so far, does it look like Friday night, Saturday morning, or? And I know it's way, it's a way out.
Yeah, they're saying landfall now is going to be sometime Saturday morning, like really early Saturday morning. So, which means it's going to be a nighttime storm. That's, you know, for those of us who have been through severe storms like me, Camille, and Katrina, and all points in between, nighttime storms are terrible. I mean, they're just a terrible storm.
They are.
But, you know, here's the thing. This thing is gathering strength. It's expected to become a Category 4. It's going to be, you know, the whole scenario and the way this thing kind of shaped up is really a worst-case scenario. And it's going to, you know, the steering currents, unlike Sally, are pretty clear, except they just don't know exactly when it's going to make that turn north. That's why they have a bit of a wider cone. But coastal Mississippi is severely in play, and part of the reason is even if it goes in the direction at the point that they say in the Morgan City area, it's going to come in northeast, and you know, that means that some of the worst parts of the storm are going to be in coastal Mississippi. Certainly not the core of the storm, but what, you know, even if it starts to lose some of its wind, what we learned from Katrina and other storms like Katrina is that when a storm is a major at some point, even though it may pull back in winds, it's still going to push a lot of water. So the storm surge could be significant. But that's based on the current track. If it turns sooner to the north, Mississippi could take a direct hit. So, you know, we're just praying that it hits further west, and people here in coastal Mississippi need to prepare.
Do you remember when the last one was this late in the season? That was a powerful storm. This is not. You know, it will be. This is October the 6th.
2 years ago, another very unusual event occurred. Michael was a Category 5 going into that Mexico Beach area, just in the just to the east of Panama City. But you know, it's been a while for coastal Mississippi. We had a similar threat from, I think, Hurricane Isidore back in 2002, where it got to Category 4, I believe, and then I think it was maybe a Category 1 or 2 when it hit, and about the same place that this one's going to hit.
So probably we'll start seeing some weather come in, late Thursday or sooner than that?
Yeah, I would think probably. Yeah, you know, they're expected to move a little bit more to the west and then make that turn based on the current thinking. If it turns sooner, it will hit sooner. But we would start to see some weather sometime Friday. Maybe early Friday morning. Originally, I was thinking that it would be Thursday. So the Cruisin the Coast.
So we can get more of coast. That's what I'm talking about. We can get more Cruisin the Coast in then.
Yeah, they'll have 2 or 3 good days actually, and I think what's going to be interesting. And I've been trying to get the latest, and I just can't see it from Louisiana officials. But if they were to call for a mandatory evacuation in New Orleans, what that does then is it kicks in the contraflow. And if that were to happen, that changes the way people evacuate coastal Mississippi. And frankly, the Cruisin the Coast people don't even know the term contraflow. And so it would be interesting when they start posting watches and warnings, probably today, you'll start to see a lot of conversation about how we handle things like Cruisin the Coast and what's going to happen in New Orleans and et cetera. It's complicated, very complicated.
We're going to be you guys are going to be on the air with Steve Azzo tomorrow for the JT show.
Yes.
What's the crowds look like this year with everything else that's going on?
It looks fantastic. That's been, I knew it was going to be a great event. I think the number of cars registered might be down slightly compared to last year, but when you consider the pandemic and all, I had a great conversation, as I know you guys have been doing too, with Woody Bailey. And one of the things I did preparing for that show was to search, what are people saying about Cruisin the Coast? And what I discovered is a lot of the car shows across America were getting canceled. So this particular show was on a lot of people's radar screens. People they feel safe in their cars. So it seemed like the natural sort of pandemic event. And then they canceled the events like concerts, et cetera, that would cause people to get shoulder to shoulder. So it's been incredibly successful so far. Unfortunately, now we have this threat.
So when is the final day supposed to be? Was it Friday or Saturday, or how far were you supposed to go?
It went through the weekend. So one of the big events was the car auction by Vicari Auctions. My friend Pete Vicari on Friday and Saturday. He's not going to make a call. He's going to be on the show with me live on the JT show with Steve and me on Wednesday, but he will not make a call about how he's going to handle that until Wednesday. So he's still in pure, full scale, have the auction mode. But unfortunately, it's not looking so good for Pete. So we're going to pray that it continues to go west and that we can salvage our cruising effort. But it doesn't look good at this point.
Well, whole new ball game. We got lucky on the last one, and it. I guess the folks at the aquarium now are saying, is this what we got to go through every single year here? Some of the folks who've come to Mississippi, are we going to do this every year? And the answer is maybe not. It comes in cycles.
It comes in cycles, Paul. And as you and I talked about before, it's as prepared as we need to be, and as I know concerned people are, we know how to get through these events. We're tough in South Mississippi. We know how to do this. We're very resilient, and we will pray. We don't want to wish ill will on anyone, but we don't want a direct hit. We can't, man. We just can't get a direct hit. But if we get one, we'll rally like we always do, and we'll get on the other side of it.
Right now, the what I did see earlier was a possible Cat 2 landfall at 100 miles an hour. So who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the problem with it is that, like with Katrina, that was a Category 5, it went down to a 3 before it hit. It still carried world record storm surge. That storm surge continues at the rate that it was at before it starts to lose its steam. So if this becomes a Category 4 and becomes a very large storm, it's a small storm now, but it's going to go through some what's called eyewall replacement cycles. It could become a large storm and be pushing a lot of water toward coastal Mississippi. So even if it loses, some categories and wins, it could still have a lot of storm surge.
Well, then we got the casinos. They got to make a determination. Cruisin the Coast has got to make a determination. All the people have to decide whether they're going to book hotel rooms. And this thing looks like it's going to head direct north toward the Jackson area, probably as a tropical storm. So we'll see exactly what happens there.
And Paul, listen, here's the thing. I talked to my farmer friend today. Their family is major Delta farmers, and they're still taking cotton out. So, they're taking soybeans out. And you know what happens? Cotton can get wet, and you may be down for a week, but it can't get wet and be blown, or it goes down. So the impact on Delta farmers could be significant.
And the irony of that hitting the Delta with the name of Delta is just too much. But it's 2020.
And then Louisiana Delta, Mississippi Delta, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
If we can just go into uniform coma until New Year's Day, there would probably be some people who would take us up on that. Final thought.
Hey, final thought, though, Paul. Yeah. That's why you and I do what we do, is we help people navigate through situations like this. Whatever it is,
we will be doing that. Hey, look, we're going to call on you the next couple of days, so don't go anywhere, okay?
Okay, buddy. Take care.
Don't be blown away. He's on the air live tomorrow with Steve Azar. He will be hosting the JT show live from the coast, and looking forward to that.